Today we read all the chest exercises based on the efficiency so you can get the most out of your workout. We will talk about regular exercises, some special exercises, and I will tell you which exercise you should do and which exercise you should avoid at any time. I will also show you a very unique exercise that you probably didn't hear, but that's very efficient and that could get you to your gym physique in no time. So stick around. First, there's the classic barbell bench press. And the barbell bench press is a very solid exercise. But hear me out now. The barbell bench press isn't the best chest exercise for you. Actually, it's kinda mid because your shoulders a lot. This means you can injure yourself really fast. Secondly, you don't have the maximum range of motion because at the top you can't really squeeze in the last part of your muscle. And third, you can't really train to failure without a partner. If you're going to train on the barbell bench press alone without someone spotting you, you're putting yourself in danger. And that's not really a good way to train. So unless you're a powerlifter, the barbell bench press isn't really the best exercise for you. But if you really have fun doing the barbell bench press, go for it. It's a solid exercise, but I'm just saying there are better options. So for me, it's in B tier. Next, there's the Smith machine bench press, and the Smith machine bench press is slightly better than the regular bench press, and that's because you can really just focus on pushing. You don't have to stabilize, and you don't have to worry about danger, because if you think you're going to fail, you can just re-rack the weight at any time. But there's still the downsides that your shoulders are locked. This could still potentially lead to injuries. And secondly, you can't squeeze in the last part out of your chest on the top of the motion. But because of the slightly better things on the Smith machine bench press, it's an A tier. Now to one of my favorites, the dumbbell bench press. The dumbbell bench press is a very great exercise. And that's because you got literally most of the range of motion. You can really squeeze in the last part of your chest. This part here, you can train really good with it. Secondly, your shoulders are not locked. This means you have some free room so you can really just push and adjust your shoulders if you feel like you're going to hurt yourself. And the best part of it is that you can train alone without someone spotting you, because if you fail, you can just drop the weight to the sides so you can go to half reps. Means for me it's an S tier. Now we are going to talk about the machine press. The machine press is also a very great exercise. On the machine press you can train alone because you have not the danger of anything falling on you, so you can go for half reps, which can really help your progress. Secondly, you can concentrate on pushing, but there are like two downsides again. Your shoulders are kind of locked again, and secondly, you really can't squeeze in the last part of your muscle. In my opinion, because of the two main sides that you can really just focus on pushing, train without a spotter, and doing half reps, it's still an S tier. The classic I want to change my life at 4 a.m. exercise, the regular push-up. The push-up is a very great exercise for starting. Okay, now hear me out, for starting, not for building muscle, because you're very limited to how to progress. Yes, you can put some weights on your back, but after 1 or 2 plates, you can't go further. And if you want to put plates on your back, you have to need someone that actually puts the plates on your back, because alone you can't do it. But you can go for variations, but they're also very limited variations and you can really just max out them. So the push-up isn't really a great exercise for building muscle, but for maintaining muscle it's great. So if you're on vacation or something, you can really just go and do push-ups just to maintain your muscle mass. But I doubt that you will really progress with push-ups, and therefore it's in B tier for me. Dumbbell flies. Arnold used to do them a lot, but this doesn't mean you should do them as well. While doing the dumbbell fly, you're risking real injury because of the unsupported movement. You're risking shoulder pain, and secondly, you're at a high risk of tearing your pecs because of this movement. You're really overstretching your muscle, which could eventually lead to a tearing of the pec. So it's just useless and dangerous. There are better options for the flies. That's why it's an F tier. A better version for the flies are the cable crossovers or the cable flies. But with these exercises, you really just train your core basically. Yes, you train your pecs as well, but you got a lot of core activation. And this is not what we want. We want to train our pecs, not our core. Therefore, it isn't just the best fly variant because you can't isolate the chest. You have to train the core with it. And so that's a B tier. Now we're going to talk about the best fly variant. It's either the pec deck or the fly machine. Both are similar great, and the best thing about it is you don't train your core, you really just focus and isolate your pure pecs, and you can really squeeze in the last part. You can go max out because you can just really focus on your pecs, and the machines are always available. I never seen all the pec decks or all the fly machines blocked or used, and therefore it's an S tier. Listen carefully now. If you really want to enhance your physique, you should always start with an upper chest exercise for your chest day. That's because if you reassure, your upper chest is the first thing that people will notice. Unless you're topless, people won't really see the regular chest. And therefore you should always go for an upper chest exercise for the first exercise of your chest day. And a great exercise for training your upper chest is the incline Smith machine bench press. It's a great exercise because you can really just focus on pushing, you don't need a spotter, and you can re-rack the weight at any time. But still, there are better options. It's an A tier. Next is the incline dumbbell bench press. And the incline dumbbell bench press is probably one of the best upper chest exercises that there are. This is because you can really just focus on pushing. You don't have to risk any injuries because your shoulders are not locked. You can train alone, and if you fail, you can just drop the weight. Also, your range of motion is very great with this exercise because at the top of the movement, you can still squeeze in the last part. That's why it's an S tier for me. I want to mention the incline barbell bench press is slightly better than the regular bench press, and that's because if you're failing your last rep, the weight won't fall on your neck. The weight will fall on your chest and bounce off. And therefore it's better than the regular bench press, but still it's not really the best because of obvious reasons. Your shoulders are locked. It's still harder to progress if you're not training with a partner, and the range of motion is not that great on the barbell bench press. Still, again, like on the regular barbell bench press, you can progress if it is fun to you, but you don't really have to do it to gain muscle. So for me, it's in B tier. Okay, now we're back to the flies. Here we got the high to low flies with dumbbells. I actually tried it for this video, and in my opinion, it's just not that great. I don't know, I don't feel it in my muscle. I feel it more in my bicep than in the chest. I tried to do it with really low weight and with high weight. With low weight, you feel it a bit more in your chest. Still, it's not very efficient in my opinion. So I wouldn't recommend it. You can do it, but you won't like really have muscle growth with it. So it's in C tier. The low to high cable crossovers are similar to the regular crossovers. There's nothing special about it. So it's like the cable crossovers and the cable flies in A tier. Okay, now we are talking about the lower chest. Many people skip the lower chest, but it's still an important part of your pecs. And first, there's the decline barbell bench press. And in my opinion, the decline barbell bench press is the worst barbell bench press variation that there is. And that's because of two reasons. First, you have to like lift the weight from behind your head so you can get in the starting position. You like really need much strength for it. This means you can't go heavy on it alone. You really have to need someone that lifts the weight out for you and brings you into the starting position. Secondly, if you fail on the decline barbell bench press, the weight will always drop to your neck. It's also dangerous on the regular barbell bench press, but there you can go to the side, you can push the weight a bit away from you, but on decline there's no option for that because the weight will fall to your neck, and therefore it's an F tier. The decline dumbbell bench press is a slightly better option, but still you can't go heavy on it as well. You can't really get it up alone. You need someone that puts the weight on you, and therefore it's in D tier. Okay, now there are the dips. The dips are the best exercise for the lower chest. That's because you can go heavy on it, you can put weight on it, then you can do it alone, you can go to failure, and you can do half reps. The best point about it, you are less likely to injure yourself because your shoulders are not that locked. So that's an S tier for me. And before I will tell you the next exercise, you may want to subscribe to me because I will upload more of this in the future, and I will try to help you to lose weight and gain muscle mass. So if you're interested in doing so, subscribe to me and have fun with the videos. Okay, and lastly, there's the promised unknown but very efficient exercise, and it's the reverse grip bench press. Anthony Clark was a powerlifter from the Philippines who was very known to do this exercise, and he even broke some world records while doing it. And Antonio was also the first person to ever bench 700 pounds or 312 kilograms with this technique. And to actually do this technique, you really just have to go to the bench press and reverse your grip. What this does is it will force your elbows in, and with this you will have more stabilization, more range of motion, and more strength. And studies have shown that it increases the upper chest activation by about 30%. This means if you're looking for a great chest exercise for the upper chest, you can just go and do the reverse grip bench press. But still, there's the problem that your shoulders are a bit locked, but because of the upper chest activation and the more strength, the more stabilization, and the more range of motion, it's an A tier. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. I will post more of this content in the future, and I will try to help you lose weight and build muscle. And thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
That's the reason why I stole the bench press. Reverse grip.
You stole the bench press, but you know what I stole?